You can't say the same for Mark Golding. The Contractor General report shows how DNG, the PNP use DNG as a middleman to collect how much millions of dollars. And then again, Mark Golding, great-grandfather was a slave owner. So any little trust fund come from the money when collect during slavery, little might rub off on Mark Golding. So when them they talk them foolishness, that's what they need to be looking. That's what they need to look into. And stop talking food. There's no evidence that the Prime Minister, all of them can't come with one evidence that the Prime Minister benefit or the Prime Minister any corrupt thing. If you look back at some of the PNP, look at PJ Patterson. The man gets the 3,730 acres of Rollins land, valued $100 million US. And Patterson gave it to Rollins for $1 million. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Look at that. Those are the things that they need. They can't come in not like those things.
The Iran sugar scandal, the light bulb scandal.
Yeah.
The Shell waiver scandal.
Yeah, the man.
Can't talk about that at all, the light bulb scandal.
But they can't pin
speaking about that.
They can't pin on scandal on Andrew. That's the thing about it. They can't pin on him. So they come in with they're just making a talking point, but there's no evidence, nothing to back it up.
Mark Golding who got rich off the back of poor people. Mm-hmm. And I can call his name because he can't sue me for the truth. Not just poor people before slavery ended, but poor people after slavery ended and before it ended.
The Contractor General report
were slave owners. So it's, even before slavery ended, his poor parents were enslaving black people, right? And the money was bequeathed to him, Mark Golding. And after slavery ended, he got rich again by mashing up poor people business through the advice to the Minister of Finance at the time, and becoming even wealthier than before off the backs of poor people.
But Joshua Michelle Stern from Jamaica 411 did a video how TBNG got rich, Mark Golding and Peter Bunting, and she spoke about the buying out of what's it? Oh God, it slipped me. The place down there, I think they had a branch in Mobile, you know?
Barakim, what you're saying is true, right? And PNP are so hypocritical, and we have proven it several times. You know, I was the same 411 lady that you spoke of, Barakim. Are you still there, by the way? You know, Mark Golding is so hypocritical, and I'm going to see if I can find it. If you find it, no, it's not 411 that has it. It is Jamaica Politics Uncovered. That when she played a recording by Zara Burton. I don't remember the name. 50 Degrees North, I think that's the name of the program. Zara Burton interviewing Mark Golding recently too, asking Mark Golding about his offshore accounts and if he believes that those who have offshore account, she asked him directly, are you paying your fair share of taxes? She asked him that directly. That wasn't even roundabout question. Mark Golding to this point in time has not answered the question. He has not answered it. The second thing that she asked him, if he believes that those with offshore accounts should pay their fair share of taxes, Mark Golding's response was, he believes that those who have offshore accounts should make arrangements to bring them inland. Has Mark Golding done the same thing that he says he believes? Mark Golding has a tendency of imposing thoughts on people that he himself doesn't follow.
The last time he married a Jamaican and Florida man married.
Florida he was married. Mark Golding.
Would you call that hypocrisy? That is described as hypocrisy? Hypocrite? Yeah. He's an hypocrite.
Mark Golding claimed that he was born here.
Yeah, well, no, he's a bold Joshua. He's both a hypocrite and a liar.
Well, a hypocrite is by definition a deceiver, you know. And a deceiver is one who lies, not necessarily with their lips, but through their action, right? So, 601, I go and follow what one of them supporters said. 601, half dozen of the other. You know, and because I'm not so bright, I can only accounts. I have to follow what them say. Alright. Now, Mark Golding claimed that he was born here. He claimed that he was born in Jamaica. And to this day, he has not been able to provide a birth certificate. In fact, the whole argument, any good lawyer would be able to shred it to bits. Any first-year lawyer would be able to destroy that argument that he put forward. Because you claim you were born in Jamaica and you have never owned a Jamaican passport until you were 43 years old. So how were you born here? And then when that didn't work, then you claim that you applied for a British passport separate and apart. So you mean you were in the country and you had a British passport before you had a Jamaican passport and you were born in the country? Any first year lawyer would be able to destroy that lying, deceptive, misleading argument.
Something is wrong with that logic. That's something is definitely wrong there, Joshua.
Yeah.
Because I remember, you know, he travels from he was young. So
And he said, and having traveled, he's saying that he had a British passport. He was born here, according to him, which we know is a lie because I've done my research and I've found the information. Right? I didn't wait on anyone to do the research. I personally did it. So nobody tell me. I saw with my eyes. And he claimed that he was born here. And having been born in Jamaica, you had a British passport before you had a local passport. And is in your 40s was the first time you owned a local passport. And yet you were born in the country. How do you work out that math? And then all of a sudden, within the last 2 weeks, he plans to show us his birth certificate on stage. The one that you corrupted the RGD or somebody within the RGD to cook up for you. We're not as fool as we look, Mark Golding.
yeah, but Joshua, we have to let the people at RGD know, so if they cook up anything, we are going to dig deep in the bottom of this. We're going to find out.
We're going to find out eventually.
We know you can go out there and get a birth certificate, you know, but anybody cook up that, we're going to eventually find out.
The millions of dollars won't save them from prison and them reputation going to the dogs. So them better pray that Mark Golding win, right? And that's what they're hoping on.
Some of them people that the RGD we are talking about, they could have resigned already and run a kind of foreign already, you know.
No, them don't resign because he plans to show it soon, which means that it was just done. Just done. So them not resign and gone now here.
Yeah, but Chromas, if you have born in Jamaica, you're supposed to have a Jamaican birth certificate. What is hard in that for you to show that from so long?
Almost a year now.
Yeah.
So we say, what are the Joshua? We just say a while ago. He might plan to show birth certificate, you know?
Yeah. He's planning to. He's not sure it yet.
And a long time we hear that.
I've said since within the last 2 weeks, the argument has resurfaced.
Yeah. We're going to see that now.
You know, understand what I'm saying, you know? You said make we see. Even if we see it, we know what the source of it is.
Yeah, but we're going to see the fry. We're going to see it still. We're going to see it. Because people are getting a problem. That may I say.
No.
We know a fake. And we checked out a fake.
Alright, Kim. I have some things that I want to tell you that came to our ears and we're waiting because if him think it going to work, right, and if PNP think that them going to steal this election, them have another guest coming.
Yeah, but Joshua, remember, you know, when Vaz made that check at the RGD office, there was none, you know. So all of a sudden, one turn up.
I never ever remember that. Thank you, yeah.
Yeah. So they can go.
It's supposed to come out in a them number, the polling station, them, and every polling box. They must be supervised. The Prime Minister need to reorganize that. Police must be beside the polling box. Them.
It's not just the polling box. There are a lot more to part of it, and it must be done. No two ways about it. But some serious money is being offered to people to do some things that came to our attention. Some serious money that if them take it, them not have to work again.
You know the funniest thing, you know, Joshua, the people over there here, I've known some returning officer. You know, all of them are PNP fanatics. I have a colleague. He was a PNP. He was a returning officer in Julian. Yeah, I think it's Julian Robinson constituency. From Corridor, from Eastern Douglas and so on over there. And he had an assistant. And when he had to leave, you know, I'm going abroad, the man said to me, say, he never knows. Him say the assistant. Him say my PNP, but he never knows the assistant was that fanatic PNP. In turnover. Yeah.
So it is deliberate. By the way, you mentioned something earlier that I wanted to comment on, and I just remembered it. Are you familiar with the 9 principles of propaganda?
You know, PNP I think there, you know, so them are communists and socialists, so that is a part of for them too, you know.
Right. So there is a thing known as the 9 principles of propaganda. I wanted to read it. I know you are an avid reader, right? And you'll see some things. That the PNP is using that very playbook. They are using that very playbook. And they have not deviated, not even marginally, from any of the principles. You need to read it. These people are evil, hypocrites, And I wonder how ordinary Jamaicans, who should be thinking about the future of their children, about their family, about the country at large, can allow the descendant of a slave master who enslaved our own families, yes, our own families, to not only want to rule this country again, because it's basically handing back everything to the slave master, but also allowing yourself to help the slave master to corrupt the minds of people. How do you, with all good conscience,
Because, sir, the reason why they do that, most of them are in it for money, the quick money, what they can get right now. They are not thinking about the long term and what is going to happen to our future of Jamaica. They don't care about that. That is the least on their mind, to think about their generation that is going to come, them grandchildren, them children. Them not care about that. Them only business and them can get a quick box. This is the average Jamaican. This is how they're thinking right now.
Yeah,
most of them think, the PNP, them, I saw them think.
They must also understand that in addition to the financial hardship that they will face after that there's also the spiritual repercussions upon them, upon their children. The Bible said that the sins of the father will flow down to the first and second generation. The Bible said the father sucked on the sour grape and set the children's teeth on edge. So when you do things like this and figure that, boy, yeah, get out labor rights, and you know says wickedness you do to do it, you have to remember your children.
Joshua.
Yes, sir?
Don't even care about them own children, far less them own self, sir. So when you tell them, say, me not say enough to tell them, but it a go to one and come to the other. They don't even care about their own kids.
Just with little more information on the 9 points of
Propaganda, 9 principles.
9 principles of propaganda. Was that book used by Goebbels? He was the
Hitler propaganda.
Hitler propagandist.
Minister, man.
And I think that was the 9 pillars on which they launched their propaganda machine in order. I mean, we all know how that works out already. But if I'm not mistaken, isn't that what Goebbels use?
The principles are there. Mm-hmm. As to researching it to be definitive about it, I don't know. But what I know is that some of the principles that were used by the communist bloc, because remember, Hitler was a socialist.
Yeah.
Right? Hitler was a socialist. In fact, the party that he led was a socialist party. Let me tell you what the name of the party is, to be exact. Continue to talk, let me tell you.
But you see, when we put forward these information, it is things that you can research and look into, because let me tell you something. Propaganda, when a party is using propaganda to sway public sentiments and to sway the populace towards their side, usually, they have nefarious intentions, to try and institute something that they know the people, the society would not like. So then,
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I agree with you, sir. Here it is. Adolf Hitler was the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party.
Yeah.
Right, sir? National Socialist German Workers' Party, otherwise known as the Nazi Party. So this is not a guess. And the PNP was the second member of Socialist International. Japan was the first. PNP was the second member of Socialist International.
Okay, Joshua.
Yes, sir.
I've known it's a long time PNP was in the propaganda thing there. There's a gentleman, he also called Perkins, and Perkins have the same good. That time he was spreading propaganda for PNP. He used to call Perkins uncle, and Perkins call him nephew. You might hear him call Cliff Hughes now, and Cliff Hughes call him nephew. Yeah. I don't know how Vaz get to convert him. But when that man come and start spread propaganda, you know, I used to sit down and want to say, look here, like it's up at Old Rope Road, they have a propaganda school. They have a school that they train them. That, as you said,
But that's not a joke, you know.
Yeah, man.
You can say that as joke, but that's not a joke, you know.
No, man, you know, see them, look here, them prepare the propaganda and send it out, get the bloggers, them enough around with it, you know.
Jumper, he's not saying it as joke. This is information that we have received from inside the PNP.
Okay. Well, we just want to emphasize that is no joke.
Well, the PNP, the word enough to use, man. The PNP doctrinate them people, brother. Communists. You talk about socialists, communists. What anything else?
Yeah.
Them doctrinate.
In fact, I'm going to take it even further. I'm going to tell you something that was said in public that sometimes we hear but we don't listen. When the PNP lost the election to the Labour Party, and before that, a lot of Labourites had switched over to the PNP. Penton Ferguson, in blaming the demise of the PNP on the Labourites, he said something that I wish to God that we had paid attention to. He said the reason the PNP is having so much infighting, Penton Ferguson said it, is because of the Labourites who came over and did not go to PNP school, right? Now, on the surface, it may sound like it's nothing, but what he's talking about is their indoctrination classes.
Okay, sir.
Followers through, that they put them through. That is what they do.
That's why even Joshua, in most cases, when they the Labour right, they switch like a Lisa Anna. They switch go to the PNP. Deep down in them don't trust her. Anybody who turn from Labour to the PNP, they have them as Labour right. See when down in them heart and mind and soul.
But any Labour right with a conscience will see the evils. And I'm not talking about somebody who was in the party because they want to grab something. I'm talking about a Labour right that came in to help the people. You must look at why the Labour Party was formed. You know? We must never look past that. PNP tell lies to why their party was formed. But we have proof as to why the Labour Party was formed. The Labour Party was formed because Mustamant at the time was fighting
for the workers, cane cutters.
The cane cutters and the port workers. And having been fighting for them, he formed the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, which is fighting for the ordinary poor people, right? And even when the Labour Party, in fact, before the Labour Party, as we know it today, was formed, prior to that, the People's National Party that was being formed, Buster was originally a part of it. He was one of the founding members. PNP don't want to hear that, but it's true. In fact, the original name for the People's National Party should have been the Jamaica Labour Party. And I can read it. Let me find the document and read it, just in case you don't think it's story I'm making, right? In fact, Chromas, you have another phone on you?
So one thing we have, one phone we have.
I pity because I wanted to send it to you and you read it for them.
The PNP have spread a notion that the economy is for the big people. That is the greatest deception that has ever happened to our people. And you know why? The people who say that are the people who have benefited most from the economy of this country. In the 1990s, the PNP ran the economy in such a way that they increased interest rates. I want everybody to listen to this. They increased the interest rate high, and then they borrowed. Who were the people that lent them money? They are in parliament today. They benefited. They built a business on the high interest rate policy of the PNP. They made their money. Those tapanaris made their money on the backs of people like you, because it is the taxes that you paid that pay the high interest rate to those people. Poor people don't have money to lend to the government. It is those people who had the investment houses that benefited, and then now they want to come and pretend as if they never benefited from government. They benefited from the bad economic policies which affected you. It was so bad that a member of their own party, a member of their own cabinet, a man of the cloth, a man who was a churchman, he had to comment, his conscience was pricking him. And he said this policy of the high interest rate was the greatest transfer of wealth from you, the poor people, to them. The man who claimed that him is a tapanaris, he was the one who benefited. No poor person in Jamaica should ever allow that man to touch the economy, because he and his friend will go back to the high interest rate policies so that they can benefit from it and continue where they left off, of transferring wealth from you to their coffers. Whatever little I made in life, I made it just like you. I buy 2 taxis, then I open a taxi company, and I go through the struggles just like everybody else. I want to thank those who thought that by releasing documents that they would somehow diminish me. I am a true Jamaican. I went through the Jamaican struggles, and I never made any money on the backs of the Jamaican people. I never made any money off of government. When it was proposed to increase my salary, they go around and tell lie. A man in a bar and say, oh, me make $28 million. I said, really? You never realize that I didn't take any salary increase. My salary today is about $9 million. That's what average salary. The other man who claim him a tapanaris, who claim him not need no money from government, him take it. And you don't know what him do with it. But I never take it. Who is truly for Jamaica?